Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of From the Canopy Film Show. And this is a special episode, man. I'm going to be here hanging out with Evil Cornelius, and we're going to be talking about the re-release of Avatar. And the interesting thing about this film originally was released December 18th, 2009. And it's crazy, man. This thing is 13 years old almost. Directed by James Cameron. It grossed to date $2.8 billion right now. Is sitting at it's crazy, man. Where we at with this cast? Yeah, so let's look at this cast real quick, man, which is also impressive. We got Zoe Saldana, Sam Worthington, Sigourney Weaver, Giovanni Ribisi, Michelle Rodriguez, Laz Alonso, who I didn't pick up on the first time I saw this. As a matter of fact, I don't think he was as big as he is now. Laz Alonso being on The Boys. But he does the character Sute, the villager that's kind of giving Jake Sully a hard time.
Oh, he was gonna be the new chief.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, West Study, but he plays Itukan, who's the elder, the leader of the Na'vi people in this film, and we also get Joel David Moore. CCH Pounder, Stephen Lang, Peter Menza, Matt Gerald, Peter Dillon, Scott Lawrence, Sean Anthony, and I think that's it on our main people. Interestingly enough, we also get Deborah Wilson in here. She plays a character, so that's kind of cool. Let me give you guys the synopsis on this as well. On the lush alien planet world of Pandora, the Na'vi live. They appear primitive, but they are highly evolved. Because the planet's environment is poisonous, human Na'vi hybrids called avatars must link to human minds to allow for free movement on Pandora. So effectively, they're putting a human consciousness in this artificial body that they've created. So Jake Sully, a paralyzed former Marine, becomes mobile again through one such avatar and falls in love with a Na'vi woman played by Zoe Saldana. As a bond with her grows, he is drawn into a battle for survival of the world. And what this synopsis is leaving out is the fact that this planet of Pandora is rich in mineral, that they need, and it's a valuable mineral, more valuable than its weight in gold. I think he said a kilogram is worth like $20 million.
$20 million, yeah,
which is crazy. So their home tree that the village is mostly settled under is sitting on the biggest deposit that they found so far on the planet. So the industrialists, they're there in an effort to mine this stuff. And it comes to a head because they decide they're tired of diplomacy. They're trying to really get the Na'vi to move out of this area so they can dig it up and get the minerals out. And diplomacy hasn't worked. The Na'vi, they're putting up a fight. And, they decide to switch to tougher tactics right as Jake has been brought into this, this Avatar program. But I will say this, man, it's interesting revisiting this, man. I was definitely impressed by this when it first came out. I still am. I think there's a cynical, part of the critics who you look at this stuff like, oh, it's just Fern Gully. And I think that's a bit reductive to what's going on here, man. And this thing is, it's definitely, you got that story, there's a environmental message, a little bit. You've also got, a character coming in, mingling with a native population. We've seen that story told many times before. But I don't think you've seen it done like this, man. This thing brings so much to the table, such advances in technology that we still see being used in filmmaking today, man. That's how much of an impact this had, man. And it's crazy because this continues a trend in filmmaking. I think he might have kind of skipped it a little bit, even though I love True Lies, but there wasn't really a whole lot of major technological advances. But typically when Cameron comes out, he changes the game, and he really changed the game with Avatar. The
thing about True Lies that was real cool is they had a Harrier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the Harrier jet.
And there was amazing action sequences in that film.
Mm-hmm. They kind of were doing some blue screen type work with some of those Harrier scenes, man. Especially when the daughter's kind of on top of the wing and is some of those sequences, but this was such a crazy leap, man. And it's interesting. The version that we saw, this past weekend, it was remastered. So they released it in 4K, which is also a big leap at the time. I think the original came out at a time when most of the theaters had been retrofitted to a digital projection system.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, as high resolution, as what we have today. I was talking to Corny before we started recording. Even though we did have Blu-ray players, if you had a PlayStation 3, you had a Blu-ray players, but most people were still hooking those up to tube TVs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or most at best, your HD resolution was about 720. So this thing is like 3 times that. Is being presented in 4K now, and it looks it, man. Like what's amazing to me about it is, like I said, we're almost 13 years later, and this thing still looks amazing. It's beautiful. It looks as good as anything that's come out today. Like, you could put this neck and neck with the latest Marvel, whatever, anything that's coming out, Star Wars, whatever. Like, it still looks amazing.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting watching because a lot of really all the effects that I saw pretty much still hold up. The 3D still probably makes it one of the better 3D films that, has been released since 3D came back. It might be, I can't really think of, probably Alita Battle Angel might be the next biggest 3D film, that was actually filmed in 3D, that I think it's almost like a perfect film. But
Battle Angel does look great. And when I did see it, like, it was one of the few films I had seen in a long time that actually, where I felt like the 3D helped it,
Yeah. I went and saw this Friday and was just amazed by it. I actually have a copy of like this on Blu-ray, 3D Blu-ray. I have 3D in my basement. I can watch it at any time, but just really had to go to the theater and see it and really experience it again.
Like that's one of the things too. I think this film definitely is going to be underwhelming if you've just, maybe the first time you saw the regular version, and I can see, maybe how that, could throw you off a little bit, man. But this thing, I definitely think the 3D does enhance it. You know what I'm saying? It makes some of these things, and I can understand, like, if you're just watching this on a regular TV, like, yeah, this is cool, but really what? But like, just reliving those. It's like, as soon as I walked in like a couple minutes late, but we're meeting Sam and he's getting off of his ship. And immediately I'm looking into the screen. Like, like it is crazy, man. Like how that effect still holds up. If not looking even better now with the much crispier resolution, man. And there were times where I got lost like in it, and I'm like, man, is this even 3D right now? And I would take my glasses off and you see all those blurry lines, and I'm like, dude, this is so good. Like, my eyes aren't even resisting it. It's just, I'm in it. Like,
it's one thing I did notice on watching it this time around. Most 3D movies, I think my eyes get used to watching 3D, so I don't really think I'm seeing 3D at all. But this, I experienced everything as if it was, 3D.
Yeah, and even little things, man. You be like, that little blade of grass, even like things like it's crazy, man. Yeah, definitely pulls you in and immerses you.
My standout scenes in this, with the opening scene where they're coming out of cryo. You see that water model, bubble. The drop of water like floating across the screen. You gotta want to reach out for it. I remember like the first time I saw it, half the people in theater, and this was in IMAX. Half the people will try to reach and grab that water droplet.
That's good.
Yeah. The other thing is like really just storytelling. When Sully gets in the Avatar body for the first time, since he's doesn't have use of his legs. Yeah. That sequence, you kind of feel that experience of him.
Yeah,
running.
It's kind of like exhilarating.
And that just goes to like how good of a director and how good of a writer Cameron is, because something like that on a regular film, like somebody would have just not made that a big deal about that, but
But even that's cool because like you see that one part where it always gets me every time, man. I've seen this. This is probably my third time seeing it like in 3D in the theater now. And there's a part where he's running through the garden and he kicks up that dirt at the bottom of the screen, and it's like, and it flies towards you, and you're just like, wow, like it's working.
And then he does the thing to where, like, since he hadn't used his legs, he starts digging his feet, his toes, his avatar toes in the dirt also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's also amazing because one of the aspects of it that's so crazy to me is like just looking. I would say about 85% of what we're seeing in the background is CG. Yeah, and it looks amazing. Like all the set pieces, like even that garden, the wildlife and all of that stuff, man. It's almost flawless, dude. It's perfect. It feels like a real place, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like visually, there's things that really stand out. Like you were saying, that chase. But then another scene that I really love is later on when he's with the villagers and he's trying to go through the rites to become one of them, and he's got to go and find him one of these flying lizards to claim
banshees or whatever everybody call it. I forget the proper name for them, but
yeah. So then he's going to like, I guess I don't know where birds hang out, a rookery or whatever they call, know. But that scene is crazy. You see all the birds laid out and they're sitting on nests and like up against this cliff side, and it's just crazy what's going on there, man. Like it's one of those scenes. If you watch this thing like 5-6 times, you're going to notice 5 or 6 different things in that background, man. It's so good, dude. Like I'm almost tempted to go and see it again if I have the time, man, while it's playing like this. But those aspects of it really hold up, man. I love the technology that we see, in the film, like because we also got, there's 2 sides of them. There's Jake with the Navi and then Jake with the on the human place, because while he's with the Navi, he's essentially in the sleep chamber, man, and then Jake with the on the human place, because while he's with the Navi, he's essentially in the sleep chamber, man, and his consciousness goes into the avatar body while he's with the Navi. So when we start on the film, his chamber is on the main base. So basically, when they go to sleep with the Navi at night, that's when he wakes up and does his human stuff. And then later on, he gets back into the body, like in the morning time, it goes back with the Navi. But then you see, going throughout the base, the offices, because he's dealing with the ranks, the military, as well as the corporation side of things, man. And it's an interesting story, man. Like the only thing though that did stand out to me rewatching this time, man, I really don't like some of the characterizations of Jake, man. And they kind of went to do this kind of like dude bro thing in the beginning, and like it's not later until he settles down with the Navi and he gets closer to becoming one of them that he kind of changes his ways, and it's a little more likable to me. He calms down and he's not all great, But I think it's a cool story, man, because he's got an arc. A lot of the characters, have an arc. You got a good supporting cast. Who's my guy? The bad guy in here. From
Stephen Lang.
Yeah, Stephen Lang. He's great as the hardened veteran. I don't think he cares one way or another how this goes. He's just looking to just do more soldiering. He just wants to blow stuff up and shoot people, pretty much.
He doesn't give a. He's pretty much in his mind where he's given a mission to get that unobtainium, back to Earth. He don't give a damn about any, He really don't give a damn about anybody other than like somewhat protecting a mining operation and getting rid of the Navi.
Yeah, and he doesn't even care about the fact that they do have a chance to handle this diplomatically. He's like, nah, we've tried that. Let's go. Really? He's trying to just bring the guns out immediately.
Really, it's not that much diplomatic stuff happening. They pretty much, really in this film, the humans are the invaders.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are.
You pretty much go into somebody's land, just like they, pretty much colonize most of this world. You go into somebody else's land and want to take their shit.
Yeah. That's essentially what's happening. And the crazy thing about it, the diplomacy is we're just trying to get them to roll over quietly. Yeah. And instead of us having to take it from them directly, we're trying to take it from them, in the nicest way possible. We're still trying to take their stuff, man, which is really messed up. And the thing about it, man, I love that aspect of it too, because essentially he's going in as undercover to find their weaknesses, find ways to exploit them, and eventually he, at first he goes in as a soldier that's all about the mission, but he falls in love with the people, and I love that scene though when we have with him and what's her name, there's some good acting going on too, man, with Neytiri. When she realizes that he's kind of betraying them, to his bosses, and it's just crazy, man. You're just watching this go down, and I'm like, damn, dude, that's crazy. But also, it's a testament to the animation and the performances, man, because you're seeing the looks on some of these faces, and I'm like, dog, I know I'm watching something that ain't even real, but it's still conveying this, these emotions, and these intentions,
One thing about Zoe Saldana, I don't think people give her enough credit as being a good actress. Mm-hmm. Even though she does a lot of dirt, service, with like between Avatar and Guardians of the Galaxy, and what other franchise she's been with? Yeah, she was in The Losers, and also Star Trek. She's a hero in Star Trek. Also, I almost forgot about that. But
a lot of sci-fi.
She does a lot of comic book based like sci-fi type stuff, but. Overall, she's a real good actress,
really good.
It shows in this film, even though she's, a CGI character, it's some good ass acting in this film.
Yeah, really great, man. And it's also interesting, man. I mean, we could harp on that. It does run a little bit long, but as I was rewatching it, this past week, I was like, you know what? It's not much of this I would cut. Like most of it is there. Most of it works. And especially even once their tree gets cut down and then they regroup, and I love that moment too because they reach out and you're like, damn, there's Navi around the world. This world, and there's different types of Navi because they all live in different kind of environments. And that's just cool because they branch out and reach out, and I think. What's interesting too is it's kind of a setup to what we're going to get a little bit in part 2 because those seaside people are mentioned. We get a glimpse of them, and apparently I think that's going to be the focal point for this next film. Is going to be in that region. And one of the interesting things, man, like when this film comes to conclusion, they pretty much have rounded up all the corporate people and the military people that are left, and they're shipping them back off the planet. Yeah. And then Ravisi's character walks up and he's like, yo, this ain't over. And the interesting thing, we got the trailer for Avatar 2 a little while ago, a few months ago, and it's interesting. We don't really know what fully is happening, but we do see glimpses of military guys running around. So I'm wondering if these guys came back. But I was talking to someone, and they had was that you? The theory that the travel there takes a while, so maybe this could be another group.
Yeah, it takes 6 years. Yeah, it takes 6 years probably to get back to Earth. And then back there, so that's 12 years.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you don't really know. I wonder how they.
We could be 12 years in the future
with Earth and all that stuff too during that time.
But we could also be 12 years in the future on this next film.
Yeah, and that to me that kind of makes up for like Cameron taking 13 years to make the film because it's.
I told you, man, the problem with Cameron, he likes to play in the bottom of the ocean. Yeah. And really, I think he only makes movies now when he starts running out of money so he can fund his ocean expeditions. And that's what I think is happening. Because think about it. Remember at one point they said that, I don't know how many sequels he had, 4? Like Avatar?
It's only 5 in all.
5, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And the crazy thing was that I think the rumor was in the beginning he's going to shoot all 5 consecutively. And I'm like, that's not how this works. But and even this last movie, they said they were going to start shooting 2 and 3 simultaneously. And then Fox kind of 20th century scale back. Like, yeah, we're going to do part 2 and see how this goes. But it's interesting.
I was listening to Sigourney Weaver talk on Mark Maron, WTF this morning. Mm-hmm. She actually said the third film has been finished filming, but it's going to come out in 2 years. Yeah,
but it's also a thing too where I could definitely see them shooting 2 and 3 together, but the problem is that post-production, because that's what this thing is all about, man. So it's, and maybe they was like, all right, man, or it could be one of them things too where he he knows what he's doing, and like I'm saying, most of this film is really sound stages and motion capture. You know what I'm saying, and voiceover work. So you could probably easily sneak in and shoot, all three. But then maybe the budget right now is like, all right, we're going to give you the budget to fully render and animate, part 2 first, and then we'll see, and then we'll get you, to part 3.
One of the things I always kind of want to do some research on with Cameron, I know his production studio is Lightstorm. I kind of always wanted to know how much of this film he financed on his own, because he had that Avatar, between Avatar money and Titanic money, he should have a pretty good check between those two, between those two films.
He probably definitely throws some money into it, but also I don't
think he's ever been set up like George Lucas to where like like how Star Wars pretty much paid for
but I could also see when because he's had such a successful box office career, I could also see there being a fight to produce a new film that he's working on, and he probably got to beat producers away. Like, all right, man, we got enough money. We can only put so many credits on this thing. And I guess one of the special things about seeing this in the theater is apparently you do get glimpses of Avatar 2 at the end of this film. And if you want to know, you don't really have to wait to the full end of the credits. It's more like a mid-credit scene. And apparently, I think they're if I'm correct, there's about 3 different scenes that you could possibly get depending when and where you see the film. Different people are getting different scenes. Personally, I got the whale scene, which was crazy.
I did too.
That, man, dude. And the crazy thing is, all right, so I will say this, man. The original Avatar, there is a little bit of wonk, I think, with some of the movements. And because the Na'vi are really big, man, and essentially they're like 12 feet tall. So essentially, you got the average 5-6 foot human doing mocap, and then they've got to map that to those bodies. So there are a couple moments where maybe the Na'vi character rolls and it looks a little. But when I was watching this part 2, man, that thing was smooth as butter, dude. Like essentially, there's like a kid swimming in the water, and a whale comes up underneath him. Surfaces, and it seems like the whale wants some help because it's got like it looks like a harpoon stuck in his fin, and he swims over and helps remove it. But the whole time I'm looking at this whale, because the framing is just a wide shot, and you just see this massive whale-like creature, but it's got this funny head thing, like all the Pandora, the Pandora creatures look like the horse. It's got 6 legs and some funny stuff going on. So they look like creatures we would see here, but just different. And that's what this whale looks like. But at the same time, the textures, the detail, like the movement, it looked like something out of one of these Planet Earth episodes, man. When you watch one of these whale things, and I'm like, man, like I'm sold. I'm in. Can I buy my ticket now? Like this thing's gonna do. I got a feeling this might be a contender for the biggest movie ever again. An interesting fact too, this past weekend, since the re-release, it was actually the #1 movie worldwide. Like in the United States, Don't Worry Darling beat it with 19 million, and it got 10 million. Avatar re-release, but worldwide Avatar re-release got $30 million, which puts it at the #1 position worldwide, which is crazy, man. It's a 13-year-old film and people are still going to see it. And I will say this too, man, if you haven't seen it in 3D at all ever, go see it, man. Like, this thing is magic. It's the perfect reason to go to the movies, man. Like and if you have seen it, see it again. Yeah, I can't complain about it, man. I don't know, man. I think there's just too much going on to this to just reduce it to Fern Gully, man. Gully is a great film.
It's not that simple at all. It's not that simple at all.
Yeah, like I said, man, the technological leap that he went through, although I think they're using some new stuff that Cameron didn't have the first time around, so I think his productions might making this part 2 might have been easier for them, considering the technology that we've seen them using in things like the Mandalorian and with some of this Marvel stuff. Because like the Mandalorian and even the Lion King, they were doing some crazy like real time virtual set.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of being able to do a lot of the CGI a little bit quicker and do a lot of edits quicker. Because I think what they're able to do now is to map out some of those scenery, so at least the actors are more aware of the space that they're recording in, and they could, it take less time setting up. That means they don't have to build these big foam blocks all green, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff, because it's happening virtually, and they can just keep an eye on it with the camera and the augmented reality. And man, I'm telling you, people are not going to be. I'm not ready, dude. Like that. How long was that scene that we saw? It was like 2 minutes. I don't know, but I was loving every minute of it. One of the things about like me now is like after Marvel start making their films. Unless I have to go, like, Don't Worry, Darling. I saw before I saw Avatar. They Don't Worry, Darling pretty much ended when my Avatar was starting up. So this might be the first time I hadn't seen trailers for films going in, and 20th Century Fox, logo is going off when I went in. But I pretty much watch all the credits at the end of a film now because of how Marvel is. So before this new scene showed up, I had jokers leaving out of the theater. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Y'all you have not learned any kind of lesson. You're gonna miss something. Yeah,
they did that for me too. They rolled out, Yeah, the people that I was watching it with. You know what's interesting, dude? It seems like they've been taking down anyone that's been uploading footage of those previews.
Okay.
None of that stuff's on YouTube. I'm looking right now, and that should pop up immediately. The only thing we've got is that sneak peek trailer that they showed. I think that came out with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that's up there right now. Anything else, they're taking that down. It's like, nah, you got to go to the movie to see this.
yeah. That interaction between that well type creature and that Navi kid, that was amazing. He looked even a little bit more smoother, more just the movement and all that. Like that's it came across to me, man. Like I couldn't find. I was trying, but man, that thing looked so amazing. It was good, dude. It was good, man. Definitely. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think we can wrap this up, man. We just wanted to give y'all our impressions of what this was and what our experience was rewatching it, man. Checking this thing out like almost 13 years later. So I'm definitely going to be in line in December of several times, man. I think this is one of the ones that's going to help save the film industry this year. I mean, the box office has come back a bit, but it's nowhere near like pre-COVID levels. I think what was it? Jurassic World Dominion just hit the $1 billion mark. It's a franchise, so I got to see what else hit the billion for this year. But and the only reason why I think that made $1 billion like it did is because they really just didn't, they just have put it on digital, and it just been on digital a couple weeks ago, but like Marvel's kind of shooting themselves in the foot because that 45-day window to where they put stuff on Disney Plus, they're gonna have to change that because they're gonna slowly start losing all kind of money, even with some of the Marvel films.
I think that depends on the film, though. Because for some reason, I mean, they did good money. Doctor Strange, worldwide, Doctor Strange is almost at $1 billion. So just for the top 10 of 2022, Top Gun Maverick, Jurassic World Dominion, Doctor Strange, Minions, Rise of the Guru, The Batman, Thor Love and Thunder, Watergate Bridge. What the hell? How the hell is that? What is that? That's got to be something from China or something. Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Uncharted. So those are the top 10 so far this year. So the Marvel, actually, they did better than I thought they would have the numbers for. Thor Love and Thunder probably underperformed, but it's still profitable, like $760 million, so That's good, but so it doesn't seem like the window's hurting them, that bad. But I think, we're still showing at my theater, man. This is crazy. I think they're still showing like a rare Spider-Man showing once a week or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Because when you get to the bottom of the list, there's always like a lingering one of these films. You're like, why is that still in there? So right now, the top is Top Gun Maverick, 1.4 million. So billion. I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, I think Avatar can catch that, dude.
Yeah,
I think it can, man. Avatar 2. So it's not the worst, but I feel like we'd have probably a few more, higher grossing films in a normal year, especially from the superhero department. But things are getting back up, man. So it's a good sign. I think Avatar will bring the people out. It's going to be that holiday, kind of Christmas movie that people will check out Christmas Day. Yeah, but that's it, folks, man. We're going to get out of here. We're going to catch y'all later this week. I got episodes to put out, man. We got more stuff coming for you. But yeah, this has been Monk. You catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter, Instagram, and follow us at FTCNet on Instagram.
I'm Cornelius Bros. You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, on Twitter at Cornelius1976, and on TikTok where I'll be watching videos.
Yeah.
I don't post on TikTok at all.
All right, we out of here, folks. Peace. Yeah.